Nancy Yahner, and I am with Love to List in Keller Williams Realty, and I have been serving the Loudoun County area for people buying, selling, and investing in real estate for the last 35 years.
Wow, that is incredible. So it's been 35 years in this industry, a lot of experience. Give us a little bit of a background about yourself and how you got into the real estate market and how you were 35 years with Keller Williams.
Yeah. So it's interesting, right? Because I don't know if you've ever had an experience where the no in your life propelled you in a really great way.
Yeah.
So what happened is I was newly married, and I was in the bartending business.
Oh, wow. Quite different.
And, yeah, at the Old Brogue in Great Falls. It's actually where I met my husband.
Wow.
And anyhow, so, when we got married, I'm like, working in the restaurant business probably isn't a very conducive way to, have a healthy married life, right? So I answered an ad for a sales associate for a local builder and for a community off of Drainsville Road. And so I took that job, and I was there for a while. And a new community was opening up called Cascades, which is a local community here everyone knows, right? And I went to my manager, and I'm like, I would love to be the sales manager, not the sales associate, right? And they were like, no. So I was like, okay. So then I went and got my general residential real estate license. And that was the end. That was the beginning of a new story, right? So that's how I got it in. And yeah, I really thought it was going to be temporary. I thought my husband and I would be, starting a family and all of that. I wasn't into a career per se. Well, as years gone by, the family didn't work out, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I better take this seriously. So that's when I really started hunkering down and building a real estate business instead of just trying out real estate.
Yeah.
That's when I took it more serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So during that transition time, did you have a mentor? Were they like maybe schooling you, teaching you all the tricks and the trade of everything?
Yeah.
How did that go? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. So I started out with Long & Foster. It was a great company to kind of grow up in the industry, and I was there for 17 years. I also became very involved in a coaching company called Buffini, where they really help realtors build their businesses working by referral and relationships. So I really threw myself and immersed myself into that. And I started, well, first of all, I started out as a solo agent, okay? And then I had a partner, and we had a great thing going, and she moved out of the area. And once that happened, I was like, oh my gosh, as I said, I better take this more seriously. And I was really, really busy. And it was almost like 24/7, being all things to all people. And I realized that that's not really the best way, right? And so that's when I got the coaching company and really put structure into my business. And I hired an assistant. And then from there, things grew organically and evolved naturally. So I started out as a solo, had a partner, and then I started to grow a team. And in kind of the height of my career, in 2019, I had 14 team members, and we were known as the Yahner Group. And we had great branding, and we had all the value adds, okay? So we had the real estate. We also had we were called TYG, the Yahner Group. TYG for you, real estate. We had the TYG Stage and Redesign. So we had our own staging company. And then we also had the TYG Schlepper, which was a pickup truck.
And I love that.
Yeah, and it was great. It was great service for our clients. And, because a moving truck, you use one time, but people would call us and say, hey, I got to get rid of my Christmas tree or a mattress or go pick up a grill, or they could use our truck for free because they were a VIP. Great, great, great. Had so much fun. I loved the leadership part of it and the management and creating a really positive culture, right? But in 2019, I had a situation, all positive, with my husband's career. And so I made a very intentional decision to downsize my business.
What made you make that decision?
Well, my husband had an opportunity in Charlottesville. He's in the automobile business. And so we really explored moving to Charlottesville. So we spent time down there. He spent about 4 months investigating this career. And anyways, what we realized, he was in Charlottesville for 4 months, and we had spent more time together when he was in Charlottesville than when we were here together, right? We were
Yeah.
both in sales, doing our business, you know,
Busy.
right? And so when that opportunity didn't work out, it was such a eye-opening experience for me. So I made the decision. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go sell for somebody else, you know, and have quality time with Jerry. Because when he came back here, he ended up taking a job out in Winchester, which is a much slower pace, right, than being in Eastern Loudoun.
Yep.
So we had a lot more time together, and I'm like, well, he's doing that. You know, I want to do that with him. I want to spend time with him, right? That was more important. So downsized my business, went and sold for someone else, and took me, you know, like 2 days to realize that this wasn't the right thing. Actually, I was there for 4 months. Great company that I went to, right? But I had closed everything down. I had let go everyone in the team,
Wow.
including my 2 sisters. So it was a big deal. But anyhow, so I decided then, well, I'm going to come back and just kind of do my solo thing, go back to being a solo agent,
Yeah.
and just really enjoy that quality. So I decided to name my company Love to List.
Oh.
And Love to List is really about, it's not like, oh, look at me, you know, I love to list homes. It's more about, that's where my skill set really is the listing side. We do help buyers, of course, it's natural. But my skill set is really how we launch a home for market, the presentation, the strategy, the problem solving, working with sellers. And also, I tend to get a lot of complex sales. You know, not your
How so?
Yeah, so, you know, everyone can kind of sell a condo or a townhome, right, in a planned community. But I tend to work with people that have either a financial situation or a very unique home in Western Loudoun. You know, I started my career in Eastern Loudoun, and then we moved out west. We've been out there for 22 years, so I do serve both ends of the county. And so I get unique homes. I've dealt with many hoarders. I've dealt with a lot of divorce. So the more complex sale, and because Love to List is really about listening, and that to me is like the essence of selling.
Yes.
Right? Is just listening, focusing in, trying to get what needs that need to be met for our sellers and buyers, of course. So I started Love to List in 2000, February of 2020. And
Oh.
of course, we know what happened all then, but it was very an interesting time because after having that was like, I grew this business. It was like, it's like a baby.
Yep.
It's like, right? So I naturally kind of went into a life funk, right? And you know, I don't say that we make mistakes. We just, you know, it's a journey along the way, and you make decisions. And at the time, I thought it was a great decision, but when I look back, I was like, oh my goodness, what have I done? I kind of went into a life funk. However, really, it was actually one of the best things that ever happened, right? On many levels, Lil, just so many. And it allowed me to really focus on my clients. And, you know, instead of doing hundreds of homes and managing a team, it was very personal, more one-on-one. And the relationships that I have with my clients are so deep. And so I'm so grateful that I had kind of gone through that. I also was presented with a time in our family life where I had to take care of my mother-in-law. So I think, you know, that it was really serendipity that I was able to do that. If I had had the team, there's no way with her living with us I would have been able to devote the time to take care of her. And it was a life-changing experience, to tell you the truth. It just, I just can't even tell you. I'm so grateful to have had that opportunity. Um, it was just a very eye-opening experience. So you go from a lifestyle change to a life funk to life-changing, to now I'm more into like life sizing.
Yeah.
You know, I do a good book of business. It's quality. We have some core principles, and I'd love to list these principles and these core values I've carried throughout my career. I mean, I've helped people, multiple times, 3, 4, 9, 10, 12, 18 times, one person. I've helped families.
Yeah. Can I ask what those core values are, please?
Oh, sure. So so basically I call it the 3 C's. It's care, connection, and communication. And that has really carried us. And with that, there's more principles and values. I mean, I've trained and talked on this for years. But with everything we do, we come at it with these 3 C's. And, anyone can teach and train on how to do marketing, or how to do some technology, or how to write a winning contract, or how to conduct a 10x open house, right? These are things you can train on. It's hard to train and teach on how to care and connect and communicate with your clients. We have some systems in place for that as well, and processes, but it's going deep with our clients. It's showing the care. The communication piece is so critical. Setting expectations, making sure people understand every step of the way what's happening. Selling and buying, it's one of the top 3 stressors in your life. And, I don't know about you, but if you grew up this way, but if I was standing in front of the refrigerator, right, with the refrigerator door open.
Yeah.
And your parents, I don't know if you had this experience, but your parents would normally say, don't stand there with the refrigerator door open, right? Because you'd be standing there as a kid, right? Or, be home before dark, or make sure you bring something upstairs with you, make your trip work for you. My point is that the parents, repeat things all the time, so it's ingrained. When sellers are going through this very, stressful time, you have to tell them 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. You have to communicate through email, through text, through phone.
Yep.
You have to do all the different types of communication, as well as you have to tell them what you're going to do, and then do what you're going to do, and then remind them what you did. And it's not being like disrespectful, like they don't get it. It's they're busy. Everyone's so busy and bombarded.
Yeah.
So you have to be consistent in your communication, right? And you also have to pick up on anticipating their needs, and that's the care piece, like letting them know what to expect, right? And you have to have the ability to connect, and really, that's why I say listening is key. So often people have beautiful presentations, and when I meet with people, it's really a notepad and pen. It's really trying to figure out how we can best serve them, what their needs are, and if we can help them, right? So those 3 C's kind of carry us through.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. And I love that you hold yourself to such high standards like that for your clients. It sounds like you really care, and I know you're like, it's not being like disrespectful, but it's just reminding them and letting them know you care, and not leaving them in the dark with every step that you make. You want to involve them. You want their opinion. So I think that's awesome, and that's probably why a lot of people come to you and stick with you, because of that care and that nurture that you give them.
Right. Well, I appreciate you saying that. And also, it is intentional. I mean, we do a lot of events for our clients. We do a lot of engagements. We always want to be top of mind, and we want to be a good resource for our clients. I get calls all the time, hey, what painter do you use, what landscaper, you want to be that hub,
Yeah.
right? And you want that engagement and that sincere and genuine engagement, right?
Yep.
So yeah, my clients count on us for, way after the sale,
Yeah.
and so we always want to be very engaged and there for our clients and be a real value add and resource. I do 2 lives every week.
Where, on Insta,
Oh, I
Facebook?
do Facebook. I'm not as into Instagram. I should get more into it. I tend to do more Facebook, and I do Tuesday at 4 o'clock, and I call it From the Heart of My Home, which is my kitchen. And I share a little real estate, a little health, and a little home with you. And it's just a variety, very consistent. Sometimes I'm cooking, sometimes I'm doing a real estate update, sometimes I'm sharing eco-friendly products, So just trying to give tips and value add and, with people. And it's so funny because it's not like you get hundreds of people to my lives. But I know that they listen because when I'm with them, they'll say, "Oh, such and such," and I'm like, "Well, the only way you would know that is
If
that
you watch my live,
yeah,
right?
exactly." So the second one I do is called Postscript Saturday, a PS to our real estate week, where we share a little bit of behind the scenes at Love to List and also educating you, the consumer, on the value of working with a professional realtor when buying, selling, investing in real estate.
Yeah.
And I really started that because out of what I felt was a necessity this March with our real estate shift and changes in the market. So I wanted to bring education to the consumers. And I committed to that for a year. So I'll do 52 episodes and then shut it down. But really just, it's just value add. I'll do anything from pre and post occupancy agreements to staging to why work with a professional photographer, just all the things, all the value, all the important aspects of buying and selling. And it's a resource, it's not going to be where, everyone's interested in that live, but it's on our YouTube channel and it'll, will be there for whenever anyone needs it, right?
I love that. No, that's incredible. It sounds like you do understand the value of like video and marketing yourself, which brings me into the next question of marketing.
Sure.
So you're doing lives, you're getting content, helpful information out there. How else are you using social media to get your name out there? Are you posting like graphics? Are you putting anything on, I know not Instagram, but maybe is that something you're thinking of
Oh yeah, I do a
implementing?
little Instagram, and
Okay.
I am on social media, and in my life sizing lifestyle that I referred to, right? To me, I am who I am wherever I go. I'm not this way as a realtor, and I'm not this way as a family member or with friends or at church or, I am who I am. I do really live my life in a way that's very authentic, and I share the things that I'm passionate about, health and wellness, real estate I know like the back of my hand, but I really want to be kind of like a real this is me type of person. So on my postings it's kind of who I am. It's not just content
Yeah.
on real estate,
Mm-hmm.
So, and we manage two pages. We have our Love to List page, and then I have my personal page.
Okay.
So, yeah.
No, that's great because a lot of people want to know, like, yes, your real estate stuff. I read your about me and all that stuff, but they want to know, like, a little bit more about you. They want to know the human behind the real estate agent, right?
Right.
The type of things that you like to do. And, like, you know what? I mesh with this person. They totally they're going to get what I'm looking for because it looks like they go through that as well, or they're also into those types of things. And that's just the person that I need help with when I'm finding a home. They know the
Right.
neighborhood in this way, right?
Right. Well, and I also think there's so many cues, and I actually did a postscript Saturday about this, about knowing your realtor, who's your realtor, and doing some investigating before, because you want someone that you trust, and to me, consistency I've done my From the Heart of the Home live. Well, it started during COVID as Uncharted Waters.
Hmm.
That was the original name. And I would come on every week and kind of help people through that time. And then I felt like, okay, we're done with that, Wait, I said, but this is great. I want to continue to be engaged. So I switched it to From the Heart of the Home. And I just think consistency matters, and that people, you do what you say that you're going to do,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And when you tell people that you're going to be there consistently on a Tuesday, you show up,
Yes.
right? And that's the way I am at in life. You show up. Today I was super excited to be here,
Yay,
right?
thank you.
And a big shout out to Alamand and all your success. It's really, I've seen the the company. I think you guys, has it been 10 years?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 15 plus
Oh,
years.
15?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw the beginning, right? And I see it now. And it's just been a beautiful thing to watch and witness the growth of this company and the success. Yeah,
Thank you. That's so beautiful. Thank you for saying that. We really appreciate it. You're
absolutely.
so sweet. I would like to ask you, how are you staying up to date on the latest trends and developments in the real estate market, and what resources do you like to rely on?
Oh, that's a great question. So I do follow a lot of people. I started with Long and Foster, and in 2007, I went to KW, and I went to KW. I loved Long and Foster. I have lots of friends. Grew up there. It's like a family. I really like the models that KW offers and the training that they offer. So I follow Gary Keller and all the the big wigs that
Yeah.
are constantly sharing. So I do a lot of listening, a lot of podcast listening, a lot of. I'm not big on. Well, I am a big reader, but in terms of learning, I like to either learn in a live session or on a
Mm-hmm.
podcast. So I do. Gary Keller's a wealth of information. I've always kind of, I'm looking at different trends, I'm trying to anticipate what's coming down the
Oh, yeah.
pike. When I had my team, and I mentioned it grew naturally,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now it's so interesting because our messaging in real estate is, oh, you got to go big. You got to go, more. You got to, do 100 transactions. And being a solo agent, you're not as
Yeah.
successful. That's the messaging that we're bombarded with,
Oh, man.
right? You
Mm-hmm.
got to go big. You got to do more. And when I had my team, I wasn't driven for that. As I mentioned, it just, people were referred to me, connected, and it was great. Um, but what I'm saying is that I actually, in some respects, was a little bit of a trendsetter, right? Because I anticipated needs. That's why I did the schlepper. That's why I did the stage and redesign. I did it because I wanted to bring value to clients.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because, hey, look at me, look at us, right?
Yeah.
Doing all this. And we're not into leads, buying leads and chasing leads and going. And so I feel right now that I'm a little bit of a trendsetter because to me, less is more, right? Quality over quantity,
Yeah.
right? And we bring value to our clients by making them feel valued. It's not about the going big or go home.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like having a really quality personal life and a quality business life, you can have a really good life. You don't have to do millions of dollars in real estate. And solo agents that actually do 50 transactions, let's say, something has to give,
Yeah.
right? And be sacrificed with that. And I know that life, right? I know that busyness. And so I'm really encouraging, and with my life sizing lifestyle, when I'm talking to agents now, I'm like, well, what are you really passionate about? Real estate's great. Real estate can be a very lucrative
Lucrative.
business and provide for your family. But what are you passionate about here, and where can you meld the two
Yeah.
to where, so that's why I really enjoy kind of this boutique team. There's three of us,
Mm-hmm.
and because it allows us to bring quality and um, the three C's: care, connect, and communicate, and it's very personalized. at the same time, I'm really enjoying, you know, my personal life, right? And to me, it's all about embracing and enjoying the day.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
you bring real estate because it's a people business, it's a professional service. I have the experience and knowledge. You know, I have seen so many twists and turns in this industry. I've seen ups and downs
Mm.
and, you know, turnarounds. Um, I've seen markets where our our inventory level is at 1 month, which is really low. And I've seen where they've been at 24 months.
Mm.
You know, inventory 24 months or average days on the market 12 months, right? Instead of a week. So can you imagine working
No.
with a seller like that?
No.
So I've seen all of that, done all of that. So there isn't any situation that I really wouldn't be able to take care of
Wow.
somebody, you know?
Yeah.
I just know what to do and can problem solve, strategize, you know, work with just about any client that needs our help. And so it's a blessing and an honor to be able to, you know, care and connect and communicate and help people.
Oh, absolutely. And I definitely can see the care that you give to your people. Like you take care of them, you want the best for them, and you're just always looking out for them. And
Yeah,
that's incredible because sometimes a lot of people are like, they do care, but at the end of the day, it's like, I got to get those numbers. I want to be like the number one,
right.
which is great and all,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
That's,
go, right?
yes, that's
Everyone's
amazing.
different. And it's
Yes.
everyone's own personal thing, and that's the thing. In our industry, I see a lot of compare and contrast, and people, you know, wish they were like this person or wish like they were this person. I'm like, just stay in your lane. You know, do what feels right for you. Put
Yes.
your blinders down. Focus on your client's
Oh, yeah.
needs, right?
Yes.
And, you know, I always say it's not about houses, it's about you, right? It's not just about houses, it's about you. So, you know, do what feels good for you. You don't have to be all things to all people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it's okay if people don't like you. There's, like you said, there's so many clients out there. There's so many real estate agents. You're gonna find your people, and
yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
And, you know, not everyone, you know, is going to buy into how we do business, and it's perfectly fine, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, and it's okay to accept that too. It's totally good.
Right.
I would like to ask you: is there anything perhaps that I have not touched on that you would like to share? Maybe about your personal life, real estate, your industry, any hardships that you've gone through. Maybe you're working on a book. Maybe
Yeah,
you're
yeah, I appreciate that.
yeah.
You know, I have written actually 2 books,
Oh,
but I
wow.
haven't published them. And one is 35-year realtor, like hashtag 35-year
I
realtor,
love that.
right? And then the other one is life sizing, and it again, it's about, you know, quality, creating a quality life by doing less and being more. Um, and we'll see where that goes. You know, right now, you know, I am like more on a what I call a transition bridge, right? Because um, have great business, had a great year last year, one of my best years ever, and will continue to sell. I am looking at down the line, you know, leaping off the transition bridge and maybe going into something else, but will always keep my real estate
Yes,
license, will
yes, yes.
always still be there for my
Yes, you've
clients.
got so much experience. Don't let
Yeah,
it go.
yeah, and who knows? You know, I'd love to do some coaching and consulting to other business owners. So I don't know when I'll take that leap and kind of go over there and publish the books and maybe do some coaching and consulting. But right now, I am just really focused on, you know, just enjoying, embracing the day, and taking care of my clients and having a great personal life.
A good
Um,
balance, yeah.
yeah, a good balance. Yeah, and it's great. So so anything coming down the pike, you know, well, I mean, on a personal level, I don't know when this podcast will come out, but we always do such different events for our clients, and our signature event is our rose giveaway,
Oh, what's
and
that?
that's right around Valentine's Day every year.
Ooh,
So we do it at different places. This year will be at Tuskie's, and you know, we have nice little appetizers, and you know, we have some fun things that we do at the event, and they get their roses, and so we've done that for years, and but we've done some other cool events. So we do some workshops like staging for living. Like people come into my home and my stager, and they stage a bookcase. You know, because
Hmm.
everyone has a hard time with bookcases,
You can tell me that
right?
again.
So, or we'll do a decor swap, which is a lot of fun. My clients love when we do a decor swap at my home. So we love doing events. We love being engaged online, offline, and that's really what it's about. So we're going to continue to do those
That's
things.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
It's so engaging and just involving the community and building that relationship. That's so beautiful. I
absolutely.
would like to ask you, when do you think maybe your books will be published?
Oh, I would say probably within the next few years, I'll venture out there and get something published.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
All right. And then, what is one thing that you have learned about yourself throughout all your experiences with real estate? Is there one thing that you came away with? Like, I'm sure there's a lot, but if you could give us one thing that you learned about yourself that kind of surprised you.
Well, um, I'll answer it two ways. Is having gone through the whole making that lifestyle decision, and then getting into a life funk, and then a life changing, and then into life sizing. I mean, that was over the course of, you know, 5 years, right?
Hmm.
And I just think it's so important to. It, real estate is the type of industry that can be so all consuming, and it's a great industry. And you know, my vision is different now than it was, right? And my vision is still to be there for my clients, but
Hmm.
it's not as all encompassing, right? So I think that having gone through that um, I'm much more than a realtor, right?
Yeah.
And my favorite quote is from my dad, and it's character is doing the things necessary long after the mood leaves you.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Where'd he come up with
Yeah,
that?
I don't know. But that has always stuck with me. So, when you go to a conference, implement what you learn. Don't come from a conference and be, oh yeah, this is exciting, this is great, and then you do one thing for a week, and
And then,
so that consistency really is your character,
yeah.
right? Being consistent and doing all the things that maybe you don't necessarily want to do, so you have to show up. And I'll tell you one thing is mindset is key. Mindset is key, and how you take care of your mind. I'm very strict on my morning routine, putting good things in,
Hmm.
being positive. For a long time, we were known as the Kumbaya group at Keller Williams, and rah rah, and creating a positive culture. I mean, positivity and being positive, it takes work, and you have to be
Hmm.
intentional. And so I just think having that mindset, no matter what you're going through, whether that kind of rough period I had, so whether you have good times and not so good times, or great times, bad times, trying to really be intentional with your daily living habits and making sure that you're taking good care of yourself, because if you're taking good care of yourself, then you can take good care of
Yes.
everyone around you,
I'm a firm
right?
believer in that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better. And now you've given me a great quote from your father, which I always like to ask everybody. But since you answered that,
Yeah.
I would like to ask you, is there a goal that you have for yourself or your business this year that you're hoping to accomplish? Would you mind sharing that with us?
Oh, wow. Well, I have a little side passion.
Ooh, text me
And
about it.
it's just real little. You can look it up online. It's a little thing I do on the side, and it is called our Bistro Table.
Oh,
And our Bistro Table is in our home, and it's where I present beautiful food. And so I'm passionate about spreading the word of how our bistro table has been the magic in our home, like in our life,
Yeah.
in our marriage, in our that connection. And my husband says, wherever we go, I hope our bistro table goes with us.
Yes.
So I have a whole business plan for that little side, you know,
Okay.
but it is my heart, its desire is the more, the bistro table is about simple lifestyle, really,
Yes.
and appreciating the one-on-one, whether it's me and my husband or when I bring a friend over or what have you, you
Yeah.
know. So that's like my little side thing that's not business
Yeah,
related.
something
So
for yourself. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love it. That's incredible. And I think it's beautiful to be present in the moment and just enjoy that one-on-one connection that you have with no phones or distractions.
that's right.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I want to say thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you
my
for sharing
pleasure.
your passion, your joy of helping your clients, and just all your experience and hard work that you've put into this.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.